Alright guys, welcome back to Kelvin Augusta Sports. So quick thoughts on Bayern Munich versus PSG 1-1 UEFA Champions League semi-final. Bayern Munich getting knocked out. Great goal from Harry Kane. But I want to share my perspective on what I think this means for Arsenal, right? Because we now know the final, PSG versus Arsenal. And in my opinion, PSG are clear favorites, right? I think PSG are favorites because they have a better coach in Luis Enrique. They have a better playing style in terms of attacking football, a better brand of football, and also they have better quality attackers, right? Where Arsenal have a chance in this game, it's because it's a one-off game. It's not a two-legged semi-final. It's a one-off game, which we've proven in the past from last season that we can beat PSG on our day. Right, granted, of course, they had key guys out. Dembele didn't play, I believe. A couple of guys were injured. But Arsenal on their day, we can beat anybody, including PSG. So it's the best attack in the Champions League this season. I think PSG scored 22 goals versus the best defense. Arsenal conceded only 6 goals in this season's Champions League and has gone the entire competition without defeat. We are undefeated in the Champions League. So it's attack versus defense, a battle of the Spanish managers, a battle of a brand of football. Who's going to win? Leave me your thoughts below in the comments. Do you think Arsenal are going to win? Can they pull out a victory? Can they pull out the upset? Because many people are doubting that Arsenal have any chance, and they're comparing Arsenal to Inter Milan of last season. And I think that is a pretty lazy and poor comparison, because I believe we are head and shoulders above Inter Milan. I don't think we're quite on the same level of PSG in terms of attacking football and freshness, which is a big factor, by the way. The PSG, their season, their league is pretty much done. And of course, they get to rest a bunch of players. But Arsenal pushing for the Premier League, it's a fight every single weekend, right? Every single week. And we play in 2 games for the last several months, 2 games per week. Now, like I said, I believe Arsenal do have a chance, but I would give PSG the tag of favorites. I would say 65 35. Is that being harsh? Maybe 60-40, just because PSG are reigning champions. They're defending champions. They've been there, they've done it, they have the experience, they have the, like I said, quality players, the Ballon d'Or, Dembele, Doué. I mean, man, their lineup is just sick, especially from an attacking perspective. But Arsenal have the resilience. We have the grit. We have Declan Rice, future Ballon d'Or in my opinion. We have tenacity. We have steel. We have something that has been lacking from an Arsenal team for a very long time. And we have the doggedness of Mikel Arteta. The big question is, how does he set up his team? Does he take a risk? Does he gamble? Does he play Miles Lewis-Kelly, for example? Does he play someone who's more attacking? Right, someone who's an X factor who PSG may not expect? Does he take a risk and play this more expansive football and beat PSG on the break, and for example Bukayo Saka, Martinelli on the wings? Or does he go with the more pragmatic approach, which has been costing us for the last few months, right? So it's all up in the air. That's a big thing. How does Mikel approach this game? Because last season I felt like we were structured correctly, but we didn't take enough chances. We didn't gamble enough. Of course, we saw Trossard with a bunch of saves, chances, and Donnarumma saved PSG with a couple of magnificent saves, right? And Donnarumma was the difference in the tie, in my opinion, right? PSG's, their finishes were clinical, but Donnarumma kept PSG in the game, in the tie. So the question for Mikel is, you've proven that you can hurt PSG. You can get at them. We can score. We can beat them. Do you back your players? Do you go all out? Do you make it happen? Or do you stick with the pragmatic, handbrake up, boring football that's been holding us back most of the season? And I think Mikel is going to do a bit of both. I think he's going to put Declan at the 6, play with either Miles Lewis-Kelly or Zubimendi. And like I said, if it's Zubimendi, that tells you he's going to try to just contain and beat them on the break. And it's a more pragmatic, negative approach to the game. If it's Miles Lewis-Kelly, that tells you he's going for it. He's going to be attacking. He's going to try to hurt them early on in the game and perhaps take Miles Lewis-Kelly off in the second half. But I think he's going to just do a combination of the two. and he's going to structure the game by thinking of two halves of football, not just one. So, like he says, he likes to bring on the finishers at the end. I think that's what he's going to do. But the question is, will that work against PSG? Because by the time he tries to make those subs to affect the game in the second half, we could be out of it, right? Let's be honest, PSG are just that lethal. So I think Mikel needs to be proactive. I think he needs to back his players, play your best 11, the most informed, the freshest guys, which includes Miles Lewis-Kelly. Go for it. And of course, if it doesn't work, change it up. So that's my take on it. I would love to know your thoughts. Let me know what you think Mikel is going to do. Hopefully he backs his players 100%, gives them the confidence, says, hey, yeah, they're better attacking, but we are the better team, as proven throughout the campaign in the Champions League, unbeaten, right? Best defensive record. Let's go and make it happen, right? Hopefully he backs his players. He puts Gyökeres up front. He plays Eze, not Odegaard, right? Plays Miles Lewis-Kelly, plays Martinelli for the break on the wing. And Saka, of course, is our star boy, our key man. Saka is going to be key. That Saka versus Mendes matchup, absolutely crucial. Right, so I'm backing my team. Like I said, I know PSG are favorites, but I'm backing my team all the way. Arsenal to make history, right? To be the first team in the history of Arsenal, 144 years, I believe, to win the Champions League. Let's do it. Let's make it happen. Like I said, would love to know your thoughts below. Let me know, what do you think? Do you think we have a chance? Are we going to win the Champions League? Or are PSG just way too strong? All right. If you haven't yet, click on the like button, subscribe to the channel, and looking forward to hearing from you. Until next one, bye for now.